voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground. Rift Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings scream the truth we bring. Echoed chaos, hearts that sting. Electric veins that feed the roar. Harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air. Shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream. We're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain. We're the anthem in your veins. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain. We're the anthem in your veins.
The engine is self-starting.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max,
Go.
Eagle, go. Ecom.
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Rift Nation Network. I'm your host, Joni Skinner. We are streaming live tonight on Mysteries Beyond the Scenes, where we combine astrology, true crime, missing persons, cold cases, and also mysteries. We do mysteries as well, UFOs, mundane astrology. So please join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Like I said, streaming live, YouTube, Facebook. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come on in, friends. How is hi, chat. How is everybody? You guys, I am so sorry. I missed last Wednesday. And I'll tell you why. I have a bad knee, and everybody knows that. I've been putting off a knee replacement for like 30 years now. And I had a cortisone shot in my knee on Tuesday. Well, I don't know if y'all have ever had like a big, massive shot of cortisone, but you just you zip around like crazy. And then you're up, you're down, it's crazy. Cortisone is crazy. I can see why people love it, but then you crash. And last Wednesday, I had the show already. I was sitting here waiting to get started. And I just kept falling asleep. And I thought, I can't do this. I'll fall asleep. But, that's what happens with cortisone. I can see why those athletes love it. Steroids are great. I shouldn't say that, but they work. Hello, Miss Lisa. How are you? I PM'd you information on Cherry. So check your DMs. There was a new announcement about the neighbor that had lived across from Cherry, grandmas when they were younger. And so there's information. I sent it to you, Lisa. So check that out, hon. How are you doing? Hello, Miss Denise. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're feeling better, Denise. Go get a cortisone shot. Cortisone heals everything. Hello, Miss Lois. How is everybody tonight? How are y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. Hello, Miss Tammy. How are y'all doing? Hello, Miss Donna. How's it going? I hope everybody's doing good for this Wednesday. August. Can y'all believe we are in August already? Oh gosh. Hello, Miss Kathy. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. I sent it to Lisa. On my phone. I thought it was you. Oh God, I probably sent it to somebody wrong. DM me real quick and then I'll find it and send what I sent to the wrong Lisa. I'll send it to you. I just did it like a day or two ago. It came across my Facebook feed. Are you in their group? Are you in the Find Cherry group? It's in the private group. They just released it. Yes, Tammy. It was the neighbor that lived across. Remember before the family moved to where Cherry disappeared? Okay. It was that neighbor, the son. The son spoke to Cherry's mom. I had to switch accounts. Okay. Then PM me on Messenger your new account, and then I'll send it back to you. Oh, it's hot down in Texas. It's always hot in Texas in August. It's always hot. You guys, it's always blazing down there. It's always blazing. We had another tornado warning. I know. Friday night, we had another tornado warning. You know what? I looked at my phone. I didn't even get out of bed. I didn't even go in the shower, nothing. The sun was out. I'm like, why is the siren? Sirens went off 3 times. I'm like, I'm done with tornadoes. I just kind of looked around. I didn't even do anything. I was like, turn off the sirens enough already. I think people here are sick of tornado warnings. Okay, hon, I'll get it to you. We're tired of tornadoes here. Sick of it. Weird weather. I think I have an explanation for the weather. I love weather. I'm a weather geek. I've loved it since I was a little girl. And, we're having a lot of weird configurations in the heavens this year, 2026. And I think it's the planets. I'm not kidding you. They're so jacked up right now. The planets are on freaking steroids. I'm telling you. No shots for me. Starting to feel normal. Oh, I still have that crud in my throat. Jeez. I wonder if it's all that smoke up there from those fires. Denise, is that from the fires? Are you getting a lot of that smoke from the Canadian fires? I knew he was the son. It was the father. Yeah. And apparently they had a white van at one point in time. The father. This was not the father. This was the son that lived there as a younger child. So, okay, I'll get it to you. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that information just came out. It just came out within a day or two, y'all. Tammy and Lisa for Cherry. But I think it's where we think she is on that map. I think they're going to find her. During eclipse, I know you guys have heard me say this countless times, but we have an eclipse August the 12th. And whenever it's eclipse season, cold cases, people get found. People are found. Gosh, why did my face get so weird on that when I did that? I wonder what happened. I'm screwing up everything. Yeah, the white van. The white van, and had a hidden cover. Yeah. I believe, and I didn't see it all because they're just getting it out, but I believe it was the son that had communicated with the YouTuber or the blogger or whatever when he was in the penitentiary or in jail and he had gotten out or something. I'm not quite sure. I have to get it to you. No, the smoke has not been bad lately, just germs from somewhere. Oh, jeez. Oh, so, yeah, it could be the barn. Oh, they had it hidden under brush, I think. Well, you never can give up on missing person cases. You can never give up, y'all. Never give up. I don't care how long it takes. I do not care how long it takes. Now, this particular case that we're going to look at tonight, I had this planned for last Wednesday when this young man went missing. Parker in Calgary, Alberta in Canada. And you know what I noticed about for my friends in Canada, Denise, and I know Cindy is listening. Hi, Cindy. Cindy's listening on her way home in the car. So they don't put the last names of the children when they're missing. But that's all right, because I thought, I just was calling him Little Parker when he went missing. And last Wednesday, before at the show, he was still missing, right? Well, Friday on Carrie Lynn's show, I was doing her show, and all of the folks from Canada that were on Carrie Lynn said, well, what's coming up with your show on Wednesday? And I said, well, actually, it's a young man that's missing in Canada. And everybody pointed out that he had been found. He had been found last Wednesday. So that's how I found out. And I went, but I had already mapped it, already did everything, So, all I wanted to show you this case. There's a lot of people here when the kids with autism go missing that they're really pushing hard here to do kind of like an Amber Alert, but more of an Amber Alert to alert people immediately. And the folks, we had one of those that happened here in our community, and at least 1,000 people showed up to look for the little girl that went missing in our area. And they found her like less than a half a mile from my house. But, and when Parker went missing, Calgary, I think it was even more than Calgary. Everybody, they had thousands of searchers that came and helped, and people from all over. Isn't it wonderful to see all the people that step up in the communities when children go missing? It's really wonderful to see. And that's what happened in Calgary. And they pulled out the stops. They did it like they did in Kentucky. I mean, there are some people that you see that can mobilize and get things moving and get it done like I've never seen before. And I love to see that. And then you have people that then you have organizations do absolutely nothing. And I'm not going to say anything like Nancy Guthrie's case, which I'm still waiting for them to search. Just saying. But I guess they did search, but we know what real search is. You know what I'm saying? Real search is getting like Donna and Tammy and everybody out there to search. Hi, Miss Cindy. I'm glad to see you made it. I just said hi to Cindy in her car. Oh, I'll come up. You, Tammy, and Kath come up. We'll take you there. I'll come up after my knee surgery. I would love to come up. Oh, I love to go on searches. I search. I do it. But, I'm bone on bone. I'd have to have a steroid IV. Could we put cortisone in a little IV and just tape it to my arm? You think I'd probably get like cortisone in an IV form? A drip? That's what I need. But little Parker, unfortunately, was found. I want to show you all the map. And then I don't know if my friends from Canada are getting the news that we are getting here about Dr. Fauci. He went in front of Congress, which is like our lawmakers. I think it's like your parliament, my Canadian friends, last week. And he pled the Fifth Amendment, which he's got a pardon. I don't know why he pled the Fifth Amendment. I guess his attorney said to do so. We shall see. They're going to vote tomorrow to see if they're going to hold him in contempt of Congress. Tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. So we've got, and they did they're declassifying so many classified documents. Every day there's another dump. They did 1,100 pages on Fauci. And they just did another one today. So they're just giving us everything. So we'll see. So let's get to missing Parker. Now, Parker is autistic. And he's nonverbal. He's 11 years old. And around 11 o'clock on Wednesday, July 16th, he left the baby. It was like a daycare babysitter's facility and wandered off, which is what they do. Children do that. So look at him, just so cute. The community came together. Of course, everybody was checking. They had over 1,000 shots from cameras to review for Parker. Okay. Couldn't find him. Everybody was out searching for him. Now, this is the last known photo of Parker. And as you can see, he's getting hot. So he took his shirt off, still had his earphones on. Oh, crap. Let me get those sparkles off of here. Okay, so this is the last known photo of Parker on a camera. And this was at, crap, I forget. Well, look, it's on the chart. This is the location and the timestamp I used for him. And they had the mobile command center. Look at this, everywhere. They had people out searching. Phenomenal. A week of searching. So this is the map that they had for Parker, and they have the starting location, and then you see Parker's last known location, right? And that's what I did. Now Parker was known, he walked fast. And they made a point of that. They did a lot of updates, a lot of great news pressers. And again, they provided the search map, which is, this, I'm seeing this more and more and more with search and rescue. And I love this. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's just great when they provide and get the public to come in and help. It's great. And then they provide this map, and they can also say, don't go in this area. This is where the canines are. This is where we're searching. People abide by that. People listen to the search and rescue. And that's what happens. You have to mobilize quickly. Now, this particular chart with Parker, we did not have a perp, right? Because he wandered off. So what do usually we look at the victim or the person that goes missing, and that's the first house. If there is a perp, we look at the seventh house. Well, there was no perp. So we're basically in this chart, we're not looking for a crime. We're not looking for, was it a crime? Was it this? Was it an unaliving? We're looking for landmarks, right? So different planets, as you can see on this chart, I marked up there highway, because that's the ninth house. So that would be a major highway. Uranus. Uranus is airports or anything with tall electric going through them, like those big electric towers, or an airport. So I put airport, highway. And then down in the fifth house, I thought, okay, Pluto. And he was in Aquarius, where the land meets the water. That's Aquarius, what Aquarius represents. Now, Parker was Libra. The first house, the zodiac sign is Libra, and that this planet that rules Libra is Venus. So look at that. Parker is in the 12th house. So we know he is well hidden, right? Well hidden. When the moon is going towards the victim, they are either in transition or close to it. Well, look how close the moon is, because the moon is the co-ruler. That moon is almost getting ready to pass him, right? So we know that time is of the essence here. It's like that moon is like right almost on him. And the 10th house would tell us the involvement of law enforcement, of the public. And look at that. I mean, it's just packed. Law enforcement, the authorities, the sun, everybody was out searching. So when I looked at that, I thought my best estimation is going to go with the houses that have got the planets that are pointing me toward where he could be, right? That would be Uranus and Mars, which would be highway. and airport because Venus is connecting to Mars and Uranus. And we know Parker is Venus, right? Parker's also connected to Pluto. So I thought, okay, so Pluto's always under the ground because Pluto represents the underworld. So Pluto is always underground, underneath, could be buried in a basement, but it's under. It's a swamp underneath. It's the underworld. So that's why I marked them in orange and I looked at those. And Jupiter's connected to Pluto. That expands it. Expanded underground, near a highway, airport, hidden. Those are my clues, right? Where the land meets the water because Pluto's in Aquarius. So let's take a look at the map. Those are the clues that I got. Now, when I mapped it, okay, when I mapped this, I marked in blue. Look at that. There's the highway. Okay, so Parker is starting in the middle over to the left, right? See where it says like Skyline East? To the left of that, you can see the middle of the chart. That's where Parker was. So I thought, okay, I took the blue pen and I'm like, there's the highway. Oh, crap. Look, there's the airport. I circled the airport. So we got airport, we got highway, and look at these two lines right there giving us a wedge by Deerfoot Business Center. See that right there? And that wedge. Look there. And that's because I was just looking at the chart going by landmarks. Okay, so let's see where he was found. You guys ready for this? I couldn't believe this. Okay, so this is where he was found, right under the highway. And guess what he was found in? A culvert under the ground. There's the airport. And he was found by Deerfoot Business Center north on the eastern side. He entered the west. He went into a culvert under the highway. And apparently it went from 4 feet to 3 feet. And there was gas. They haven't, the autopsy's coming back, but the searchers had to leave and get special equipment. But he was found approximately 400 to 500 feet inside of the network of pipes underneath Deerfoot onto the eastern side. So he went into the culvert. Exactly where the astrology map told us to go. So I put the two together, y'all. So there's where he was found. Look at the blue. Go up to the highway, and there was the highway, and there's Deerfield. Look at that, right where the map exactly told us to go. Right, and then you can see the airport. This map was spot on to him. So I would say, by the way that the mapping was done from the chart, and that moon would have moved about 4 hours. He was in that pipe, that I would say within that day. And that's just guessing by looking at the chart. He was in that pipe that day. Because look how close that moon is to Venus. And that's him. Right there. Hidden. But look at that. So he was found right about by that Skyline East. So the culvert was underneath the highway. Did y'all see that? So the chart basically gave us where he was at. Airport, highway, because we always look to a big highway in the ninth house. Land meets water, the culvert, Pluto under the ground, and it's expansive because it's Jupiter and he's hidden. This chart found him immediately. Would it have found him before he transitioned? I don't think so. I don't think so, because that moon is going right towards him. It's about, I'd say maybe the moon, well, it's right at that top. It could have been that evening. Isn't that phenomenal, y'all? Look at that. And I had marked that on Wednesday before he was found. And I didn't know he was found till Carrie Lynn's show on Friday night. And I was pulling up the map. I felt like an idiot because I'm on her show and I'm like, where was he found? And I'm pulling up my phone, like looking for the map in my phone, asking people. I shouldn't have really done that. That was probably rude. But, that's how I get. Where was he at? Was this it? And I'm holding up my phone, showing them the map, because all my phone has are maps. It's pathetic. It's all I have are maps in my phone. I can't imagine if somebody ever went through my phone. This is so tragic, though, for this little one. But you know what, Kathy? It never ceases. Forensic astrology never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me. It's always so accurate. Kirsty, I have watched a lot of astrologers who have wandered from Kirsty's teachings, and they'll tweak. They want to tweak it. Like one time, one astrologer said, "Well, I'm not going to use the rising as the victim or the person that we're looking for. I'm just going to use the moon." Well, no, the moon is the co-ruler. This is the teacher. Why in the world would you tweak something that's not broken? I don't get it. I have yet to get that yet, but because her teachings are so accurate. And if you just follow her book with this, you just find people up to the mileage. It's absolutely amazing, because that chart told us where he was. Look at that. So it's right in that area. And I even marked the little highway. And I thought, yeah, check that highway because it's near the airport. And that's where he was. God love his heart. Right under that highway, right there. So, and Culvert. No, I mean, that's, it's so spot on. I know, Denise, and it's Kirsty's teachings. It's the book. It's what I have never wavered. And I know Ro we've never wavered from how Kirsty taught us. God, I don't even know how many years I've been studying this. Maybe 10, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years, maybe. I don't know. But and the only time the map is off is if the timestamp is off. And with ring cameras and stuff right now, it's easy to get timestamps. We get them. And AI, we get them very quickly too. That's what's so cool. But if the timestamp is accurate and we know where they were last seen, the map will. I would wage money on it now. I would say no, $100. I know that's the only way that the map is wrong, you guys, is if I make a mistake. And that's a fact. If I made a mistake just in my little calculations, which I do in my head, and that's a little dangerous because sometimes I have to go back and check my math. But it is amazing. It's an amazing, I think it's a science. I believe it's a science because it's all done with math. And you know what? I'll show y'all real quick. See his chart right there where I did the calculations? See that? Let's say, like Libra, the rising sign is in Libra. If the sign is in Libra, it's 180 degrees plus the degree of the Libra in there. And you add those two numbers together. Go all the way down. What was the sun? The sun is in, what is that? I can't see. Sun's in, what, Gemini? Or no, my bad, Cancer. Sun is in Cancer. Cancer is, I forget, maybe 90, whatever it is. But whatever that degree is, 24, I think, you take whatever Cancer is, and you add what the sun is, and that's the number you get here. And then you draw your map from these numbers. It's all math. I consider that science. I'm going to call it science. There's no woo-woo involved. It's not woo. So, hi, everyone. I'm hooked up to a machine right now. Talk to you later. Okay, hon. Have a great week. It is. I know it is so sadly. I hate when those children go missing like that. It's just heartbreaking. Thanks, Renee, for sharing us out. I hate that when the children go missing like that. Sorry. Oh, no problem, Keith. Thanks. You know what I mean? And the children, they said to what? How do you remember all of this? I don't know what's all of this. What the map says? I don't know. I remember it. What do you mean remember? I can't remember much of anything usually. I don't remember much of anything. Alrighty, you guys. Now you guys are gonna like this. I think you'll enjoy this chart that I'm gonna pull up. Now, as you all know, we had the big drop down here in the US of A on Dr. Fauci. And as you all know, Dr. Fauci was the face and the everything that we had during lockdown. Remember that? So they released 1,100 pages of what they're calling a diary. I call it a journal. But he used his government computer to type in. That's not smart. If you're going to make notes and be personal, you use your laptop or your phone. You don't use a government computer. It's public record. Anything you type is public record if it's a government issued computer. 1,100 pages. So on October the 10th, look at what dear old Anthony was doing. This is from an email, and they got a lot of his emails too. He was going around, and look at this. If you're willing to do it, looks like it's possible for me. Thanks, Bart. There is another one that looks possible for me. What was he talking to Bart about? He was going around asking for recommendations for prize money. It was called the Dan David Prize. I will supply all of the material, asking them for references so he can win a prize. He won the 2021 Dan David Prize, like he had spoke to people about, and he won $1 million. He got $1 million award. In turn, research programs led by the person that said that they would give him a recommendation, he received multi-year grants under Fauci totaling well over $600 million across 2 decades. Some say these awards were more than $1 billion. Other prizes for Fauci included Gustav Linhart Award, $40,000 cash, that ethics rules blocked him from keeping, and additional nominations handled by his staff. So it was like pay to play. If you recommend me for this award, I'm going to turn around and give you grant money. As usual, I will supply all of the material if you're willing to do it. So in other words, I will send you their email separately in a minute. They knew what to do. Oh, okay. That's ethical, isn't it? Also, we found out that Bill Gates had a what's called top Q clearance, which is one of the highest clearance in the government. He's not even a government employee. So we go through all of he held a Department of Energy Q security clearance for 7 years, spanning the time of the COVID pandemic. That's interesting to read as well as that connection. There are a lot of emails between these two. He had top security clearance, Gates did. This is interesting too. Some critics have pointed out that apparently there were contradictory statements that Fauci made in public and private. Some pointed to a 2022 interview where he said he had nothing to do with school closures. Although in his journaling and in his emails in March of 20, he says he convinced New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, based on what I was saying publicly and my conversation tonight, to close the New York City schools. He should close the bars and restaurants as well. He did it with Chief of Staff in California for Governor Newsom as well, based on him. But he claims that he had never had anything to do with it. This is the type of person we're dealing with here. Okay? He didn't need that clearance. I agree, Keith. Why did Gates have that? They need to bring in Gates and question him. So here we've got the Dear Doctor's natal chart, y'all. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. Okay, this is better. You know what? If we go according to the astrology, boom, I'm telling you what. I'll give you, this is an easier picture to look at. Let me see the white line I have drawn here, and I got a pink arrow to Capricorn. Pluto is right over here, okay? Wait, I'll get you the better chart. Okay. Right here, we have Pluto in the 11th house, transiting above Fauci's chart right there, right? It's right up there where that little 4 degrees. It's right there, Pluto. It is in direct. Now, this is on the day that he went in front of the Senate, mind you. That transiting Pluto up in his left house is in complete opposition to his natal, and go down to the 5th house, and you see Leo. Transiting Pluto is opposing Chiron in his natal Pluto in an opposition. And the full moon that night, and you can see right outside of the chart, the sun and Jupiter are hitting in a conjunction. So in other words, the full moon hit his natal Pluto. It was opposing transit Pluto. This guy is getting whacked. This is, okay, so what does that mean when you have Pluto opposition like that? And I looked it up, because if I put my words, I'm going to look it up so I can say I didn't make it up. Loss of control. You feel your control slipping away. If you don't, now remember, if you are having power issues. If you're not, you're going to skate through this kind of stuff. Power control, institutional authority, everything is being seen. It could be a crisis. I can't make this up. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what else is going to happen. Confronting the hidden. That was also what was told. Now, if we go over, we're going to have on August the 12th, a solar eclipse. Guess where it's going to be landed? guess where that solar eclipse is going to be? It's going to be that in his natal chart, it's going to be hitting. I'll have to look, but it's going to be in that house where his Pluto is in his natal chart. It's hitting Pluto, Chiron, and the South Node. Could, we're going to have to look at that. But the eclipse is going to be out around that area. Not only in his chart is that happening, but if you look in his third house of communications, Uranus is down there, and you can see where I put a money sign, right? Uranus is 4 degrees in his house of communication. That would be the media, the computers, his emails. It's opposing Venus in the 9th house, which is the courts. That's millions of dollars. Venus, when we talk about Venus, we talk about high dollar amounts of money up in the millions in the courts. That's his natal Venus, right? That's millions of dollars spent in the court system. So I think he's going to get a contempt charge. I think he's going to have to come up with some money for legal defense. Now, if we look at his natal chart, this is what intrigued me the most. When we look at his natal chart, look at the orange boxes in the 6th house. You see the sign of Virgo. What does Virgo represent? The health industry, health, medicine, 6th house, job. Neptune is in there. Neptune represents viruses, diseases. This is in his natal chart. It squares his sun and his midheaven. His midheaven is how the public sees you. Your sun is your ego. When he was born, he had to work with that square for success. So even when he was born, that square in his natal chart is giving him a warning. You're going to have to balance the ego with your day-to-day work with viruses in the health field. It's all there. So the sun up there is ego, identity, what the public sees you. There's going to be friction between that and your day-to-day job with your ego. So he was already, the seeds were planted. It's all there. You had a choice. Apparently, he didn't make the correct choices. We'll have to wait and see what comes out of this. But I thought it was fascinating that showed up in his natal chart about his work. Your job is always the 6th house and the 10th house. How the public sees you is the 10th house up at the top chart. MC is with his sun, and that's ego. Your sun can be your ego. And the midheaven is your career and how people see you. I thought this is crazy. It's crazy. What else? I thought that was just fascinating. We're going to have, that's at, so we'll see. South Node is going to be hitting his 5th house. So now when the South Node hits your fifth house, it can be a loss. All of this is if you're walking with integrity and trying to be, if you're going around doing these $1 million deals and being a little shady, you're going to get the whiplash of karma. Where's Saturn at? Okay, Saturn right now in his natal chart. Oh, whoops. Saturn right now is in retrograde. Saturn's karma in his 1st house. See where you see the AC? Oh, I've got the little South Node there, 7 degrees. Saturn right now is conjunct his South Node in his natal chart in Libra. No, in Aries, my bad, in Aries. South node. Saturn's hitting his south node, his past, and it's opposing his north node. Boom. I'm going to tell you what. I'm just not going to say nothing. You guys are around me enough, and you know this astrology enough that when it's all there. Dang. We got to watch this. You know who's we need to look at next? Mr. Gates. With this association with him, and you know who else Gates was associated with these labs and the V's, don't you? Epstein. Epstein was big. That's where he gave a lot of his money, Harvard. He had an office in Harvard because he was so into this DNA and all this crap. He was weird. Epstein. But Gates and Epstein were tight. And then we know now that Gates and Fauci were tight. Not tight, but they were buds. So it'd be interesting. Oh, look at this. This was in his journaling or diary. Who would put this in a diary or a journal? God asked people who should be sainted next. Here are the 20 most popular responses. Fauci. Dr. Anthony Fauci. He had that in his journal. Some people claim that it was because he saved this. It's alleged that he saved this for his book. Oh, that was even worse. His past with working through the AIDS pandemic also. Yeah, Princess Diana shot that down for him, didn't she? It was atrocious what he did then. It was atrocious. I remember it. And he also knew in his journal that some of the medicines that he claimed were not effective and safe, they were very effective and safe. And he knew that. He also knew that it didn't come out of the wet market. He knew it all. That was in January. So let's watch Big Daddy just play. See how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out. But I think it's fascinating to watch these and look at this. You know who else's chart is like this, that you can almost see where their decisions were in their natal chart is Diddy. His is like that. Diddy's chart is like that too. It just unravels in front. It's crazy. It's crazy interesting, isn't it? It's crazy. Anybody have anything else they want to add to that chart? I'm glad he made that mistake. Yeah. Well, in reading all of the emails, after almost all these emails, Keith, he put delete this. Delete this. He told people to delete their emails. Well, so I guess he felt that if it was deleted, it would be gone. That's what he assumed. He's old. He's old. He thought, yeah. India too. Remember India too. Remember that little fiasco in India? Africa. Yep. They don't want him there. And Renee says that Connecticut followed what New York did. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you. He sure did it. Yep. It's an eye-opener. Yeah, that's what he said. He told people on, his crazy. Oh, Lee, yeah. His diary is available. It's public. Everybody can read it while deleting. It's on, I believe it is the Oversight Committee with Senator Rand Paul. You can pull it up. You can click the link and you can go through the entire diary. Anybody can read it. And there's a search bar too. The drop that they did today, you can also read that one. you can just Google it, and there's links to get just put today's declassified drop, the one from the burn bags. Yeah, the burn bag, another burn bag came out. Another burn bag of information came out today. Yes, he did. Nothing is ever deleted unless you melt. Exactly. Yep. And RFK gave it to Rand Paul. Yes. Because that would have been his purview. I would assume that he would have been, the health and all that. Nope, he should have made sure the burn bags. Those burn bags. Lord, those burn bags are coming back to haunt people, aren't they? You know what I think? I believe that the burn bags were left there on purpose. I'm just saying. I think the burn bags were left there on purpose. People thought, well, they knew this was going on, and they just left them there maybe. I'm hoping they were, Renee, because I'm hoping that there are honest people out there. That's what I'm hoping. Which fax was the worst? I heard. It would be in the a lot of the emails, Lee, because there's a lot of information in there about it. He knew all of the information on the numbers and stuff. He knew about the adverse reactions, knew about the myocarditis. It's all in there. I have a feeling he's going to stroke out within the next 2 or 3 years. I'm gonna give it when that south node hits on an eclipse. That's just my guess. That's my guess. But I don't know. Yeah, he's old. I think so. Yes. Now they can. 110 times under a pardon. Why wouldn't you? Okay. I would have said, I can't remember. Yes, I did that. I was wrong. Yeah, I said that, and I was wrong. And he could not. Why don't you just admit it? Yes, that was my email, and I regret it, and I'm sorry. That would have meant a whole lot more. Why not just say, you got me against the ropes. I messed up. I really messed up. All the behind the scenes stuff that went on is just unbelievable. Yeah, Florida's going after him. Pardon federal, they're not state. That's right, the states can do it. They're going to. Okay, Keith sent you a link. There you go, Lee. They're looking at it. So I think Norway is looking. It was either Norway or Sweden is also looking at it. Countries will do it as well. I'm kind of agreeing with Tammy on this. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just thrilled that the truth is coming out. That was a big full moon because apparently, we're getting information. We got more burn bag information today. I don't know. I don't know, Lee. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. People are, though. A lot of the people that somebody just got millions of dollars from a hospital where they told her she lost her job if she didn't take it. She sued and the jury awarded her a lot of money. Yes, they are. I think it's Norway or they will. truth is the best thing. That's right. I agree, Renee. Why wouldn't you just say, you know what? That is my email. These are my notes. And I got carried away with all the attention I was getting, and I wasn't thinking clearly, and I messed up. You're right. I'm wrong. And Senator Rand Paul said that. He said, all we want, it would be, even if he just said, yes, I did this, and I truly apologize. I don't know. I don't know if it is. I have to look that up. I'm not sure if a class action is. There are laws keeping us from suing the job. However, there are also funds set aside to settle these cases. Open to civil lawsuits. This is opening a big door. We're going to see tomorrow. Yeah, pardon from crimes, though, isn't open to file civil suits. Pardon from 2014. What was going on in 2014? I believe that's when Barack Obama said no more gain of function. I think that's when he banned it, I believe. I'm glad the light came out. We're going to see more light, y'all, with this eclipse coming up. We're going to see more. And I'm going to go through the burn bags they released today. There's so much interesting information. You cannot keep up with all of the D-class materials that are coming out. Well, at least then. And guess who was involved in that? Just look at the Epstein files. Yes, he did. Obama said no more. Yes, he did. If I had back and injured, I would do a single sue, not the class action. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to watch this play out. I'll tell you what's going to be interesting is to watch the August 12th, this eclipse. This eclipse is going to roar. And I knew that full moon was potent. Attorneys make the money on class action. Attorneys make money, period. Attorneys make millions on these people. It's crazy. I couldn't believe that Hunter Biden said that he just, in a statement, said that he's broke. He can't pay his attorneys, and they charged him $17 million. I thought, what were they charging him? $1,000 an hour? That's crazy. $17 million? Here's Keith. I know. I wasn't as crazy as you thought I was. I know it. You know what, though, Keith? I didn't trust what was going on. I started to see things that red flags were starting to pop up, Keith. If you remember, during lockdown, things just weren't gelling right. And I kept thinking, there's something wrong here. I couldn't put my finger on it. Remember, it took a long time, though, for me to see that. Because every time we trusted them. I think I trusted Fauci. I think it's a betrayal. I trusted him. I trust what he was telling us. And then I talked to my friend over in Africa, and he said, stop it. Africa didn't even really have anything. He can sell his paintings. That's what he said. He said his depot was just released. I kept an open mind, didn't I, Keith? I was not going to say, nope. Something wasn't passing the smell test for me. And I wasn't closing you out. I was just saying, oh, that's crazy. I don't believe that. But everything that you said turned out to be true. I can paint better, and dang it, I can. If I can't sell for that amount. Nobody's buying his paintings anymore. I agree. Kathy, it is. It's a total betrayal. That's how I think everybody's feeling right now. We tuned in, Mom and I, every single night we tuned in and watched because we were frightened. Every night we tuned in to listen to what he had to say, him and Miss Burks. She's talking like a bird. She's talking like a bird. She should. She's chattering like a bird. She's singing like a mockingbird. She's trying to save her rear. So that's his chart. We'll do dear old Mr. Gates next week. How's that? See what he's going to be up to. I have to pull into the files and get y'all and pull out some of the e-files at what they talked about regarding the V, because there were conversations with Epstein. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that show. And just prayers out for the family of little Mr. Parker, because, what a doll. It's just so sad. Sad, sad, sad with these kids. I hate to see it. And they get away very quickly, don't they? I feel bad for the people watching them too, because these kids are gone in a heartbeat. They're gone in just a shot. So, but you guys have a great week. I'll pull up some of those emails and we'll look at Mr. Gates' chart too. See what's going to happen to him. So have a great weekend, everybody. And stay cool, Miss Tammy, and down there. And stay safe, everybody. Thanks a million for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week. So have a great week. Take care.